you keep trying your best to really put all your energy trying to communicate better. You keep learning all of the tools, all of the psychology, all of the self help. No matter what you do, it just doesn't work, right? I think we've all been there. Some of us are even still experiencing those relationships right now. And but what if we're not seeing it from the right angle? What if these relationships are actually much deeper than just a simple communication issue? What if it's about, a deeper soul level connection? Ever thought about that at all? And the good thing is that your soul blueprint can actually reveal a lot of these answers, because what you have to understand is that sometimes these type of conflicts are more than surface level. Because I know the frustration. You sit around doing all of the work, all of the research, learning how to better communicate, but it's just not improving no matter what you do. And sometimes it's just not something that you doing. It's actually on a deeper, higher level than this. So we're often taught to look at, relationship from like a ground level. But the reality is that many of these relationships stems from, soul contracts that your soul made before and before incarnating in this current life. Like, I know, wild stuff. A lot of these things stems from karmic ties that you have with certain people, lessons that your soul agreed to learn with their soul together. I'm telling you, it's just some crazy stuff. So, when you don't understand those deeper dynamics, what can happen is that we can often keep repeating the same patterns, right? And it's frustrating. I know, it's frustrating. And then we often attract the same types of people, partners, friends. For example, I know for me, I had the longest problem for the longest time settling for like breadcrumbs. I managed to stop doing that in relationship, but I still kept doing it for friendship. Like, settling for breadcrumbs, but then the reality is that this is something that went way, way, way back. Oof, I literally just talking about it. It went way, way back previous lifetimes. So these are all things that you can actually, all magical insights that you can get in your soul blueprint that can totally change your life and change the way you approach life and just absolutely blow your mind. And then once you start knowing that, you're like, oh my goodness, this is beyond little me, my little self. And then you can really stand a, like a proper chance of tackling the problem and really solving it and coming victorious and triumphant at the end of the conflict. But I digress. Let's go back a little bit. So you feel stuck, you feel drained, you feel emotionally misunderstood, and because the thing about soul contract is that there are unseen agreements. That's what makes them so confusing. If we were all aware that, okay, we're gonna come into this life, we're gonna be born in, let's say, I don't know, 1982, and we're gonna meet this person at that time, it would all be pointless. You know what I mean? Because you'd be like, oh well, but like it's the element of surprise that allow your souls to experience these relationship authentically and give you an opportunity to grow, and for our souls to evolve through these different things. And because that's the purpose of your soul here, is trying to evolve into like a greater, like better version of themselves. And also the same way we're trying to do self-help, your soul is doing the same thing too. So your soul blueprint reveals pre-incarnation agreements that you've made with certain people. Like I told you, like in my example before, in my soul blueprint, I could see how certain relationship I've had were literally karmic, soul contract from like way past. And it can also show you why certain family members trigger you. Oh my goodness, don't get me started with that one. Oh, I know we've probably all been there, and so you get that one. Partners who mirror your wounds, not just your gifts, but your wounds, and that drive you absolutely insane. And again, friendship or relationships that just seem faded because it just happened so quick. Sometimes things just happen to you, and you're like, what just happened? It's almost like someone somewhere is pulling some string, and you just like a puppet, and then you didn't really have any control over that. Well, it can feel like that because it's just so contract, and then it was already like the meeting was already planned and everything. Yeah, we do have free will, but I'll talk about that in another video. But pretty much we're just focusing on soul contract. All of these things can be revealed and seen within your own soul blueprint. And no, these aren't punishment. I always make sure to say that over and over again. Like I said before, it's pretty much part of your soul's evolution and growth. My clients are always amazed by this next part, why people trigger them and what that means. But some people are here to activate old wounds so that your soul can go through the lessons they're meant to integrate in this lifetime. Your soul come here with its own curriculum. It's just like when you go to school. When you're in ninth grade, there is a curriculum for you. By the end of the school year, you should have mastered all these school topics. If you don't master these topics, then guess what? You're gonna have to repeat either part of the curriculum or the entire year. It's exactly the same thing. So we keep repeating the same curriculum, keep going into the same relationship, the same patterns, just copy pasted a different pace, I mean a different face, a different partner with a different name, but it's still the same issue, the same problem, the same lesson that you are still yet to learn so that you could evolve through everything. So now, why do we care about all of these things? Because once you know that, once you're aware of these patterns in your life, boundaries plus communication, of course, you should always have your own boundaries. I'm not here to be like, let people abuse you just because it's your soul, it's part of soul contracts that you've made before coming into this lifetime. No, 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 we're not saying this here. I'm saying that we want to arm ourselves with knowledge and awareness along with our boundaries and communication, because that's when we start having all the right tools to succeed. Because when you understand your own blueprint, you just stop the word I like using, you stop pretzeling yourself, into other people's life. You stop dimming your life. You stop accepting, a lot of toxic things that you might have settled for up till now. So, and then it really empowers you. You learn to set boundaries based on your lessons that you meant to integrate in this lifetime. I noticed that personally, it really helps you to remove fear and really minimize self-doubt or guilt as much as possible. And I think this is so powerful by itself. You get reason why we want to know all of these things. We want to be aware of our soul blueprint because you get super clear on what you actually energetically available for and what you are no longer open to accept in your life. For example, like I said before, breadcrumbs. Once you start realizing, oh my God, you're setting for breadcrumbs, and you're like, no, I'm no longer available for that. I am worth much more than that. This is we're raising the bar. So this is the purpose of all these things, is to pretty much, it's to help you in your work, like the whole, like, you healing. We're all talking about we want to heal, where this is when you truly start healing, when you have your personalized outline, and you know exactly where your issues are. We all have them. You start knowing where your blind spots are and where you need to put a little bit more energy so you could actually start healing and start improving yourself. And so it really helps you with, I found that it helps adding a bit more compassion, because you start realizing, no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just like we all have these things. We all have things that, because we're all souls having a human experience in this on this planet Earth. So we all have things that we're working on, right? Because that's why we're here. So I find that it really adds more compassion. It really helps you see yourself and others through like a lens of compassion and shift your energy. You stop being like, why am I like this, to like, what am I here to learn? And there is so much power, and it really helps you stay focused, you know and this opens place, like, this opens so much space for so much more forgiveness, forgiveness of others. And most importantly, you start doing an emotional release, because we don't realize how much energy is stuck in our body once you just refuse to forgive others. It takes so much energy from you, from your own energy center, to from your own field, your own body, everything, when you just fostering a grudge against someone. It's just like, trust me, it's not worth it. Yes, I know when things are fresh, it's really hard to kind of like you're not there yet. But eventually, we always want to move past, and we always want to forgive not just other people, but also ourselves. And understand that yes, people do to us, but we also do to others too, because we're not perfect here, So I find that the soul blueprint is really, it kind of really helps to add compassion and that deep groundedness and forgiveness and strength and healing powers to our life, our relationship, even if the relationship doesn't change, but that way you start having a blueprint and okay, what am I gonna do now? Am I staying here? But like exactly, you start seeing the full picture so you can move accordingly. So understanding your soul blueprint, I think it gives you like so much insight, the depth that you need to stop repeating those frustrating loops, and those painful relationship cycles. You can finally put an end to them. It helps you stop repeating these loops and then just take ownership of your life on a deeper level. So, like I said, the soul blueprint can help you understand why you attract certain dynamic and how to navigate away from that to a place of power. Power as in you taking ownership of your life and in better clarity. So all the links are down below if you want to book your own. This is you feel it. This is your time. All the links are down below in the description box. And definitely check out the next video because we are uncovering ways to have healthier relationship and more soul wisdom and deeper connections. You don't want to miss that one. I'll see you in the next one.